The corridors of the citadel of Cathera were nothing short of awe-inspiring. Towering spires of black crystal jutted skyward, reflecting the red sun that hung low over the alien city. Every surface seemed to hum with energy, as if the building itself breathed with life. And at its heart stood the most formidable being I had ever encountered, Queen Vera. Vera held more power than anyone I had ever known. Her word could command armies, her gaze could instill fear across galaxies, and her hand could reshape the destiny of entire worlds. And yet, here I was, a human, standing before her without armor, without weapons, without any reason for her to even notice me. She regarded me with those piercing violet eyes that seemed to see straight into the core of my being. Her presence was magnetic and terrifying. I felt as though I were a mere flicker of light in a supernova. "Why are you here?" she asked, her voice echoing through the hall like a storm contained in crystal. I swallowed hard. I came because I wanted to see you." Her expression didn't change. She didn't blink. Her aura was a tidal wave of authority, and yet, somehow, there was a curiosity there, a spark I hadn't expected. "You speak boldly for one so small," she said. "Do you understand what it means to stand in my presence uninvited?" "Yes," I admitted. "And I accept the consequences." For the first time, a small flicker of something amusement danced across her face. "Very well. You will remain under observation. Let us see if your courage matches your words." The first test was simple, or so it seemed. I was brought to the grand arena, a circular expanse that could hold tens of thousands of spectators, though today it was empty. In its center stood Queen Vera, and beside her floated a sphere of energy, writhing with power. "You must face the trial of command," she said. "You will hold this sphere for one cycle of the sun. If you falter, the consequences will be yours to bear." I stared at the sphere. It pulsed violently, its surface crackling with raw energy. It radiated power so intense that I could feel my body trembling merely from proximity. I had no idea how I was expected to survive this. "You may begin," she said, and stepped back. I approached the sphere cautiously. The instant my hands made contact, a shock ran through me, testing my strength, my courage, my will. The energy threatened to consume me, but I held on. I focused on my breathing, on the steady rhythm of my heart. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Sweat poured down my face. My arms ached, but I did not release my grip. And through it all, I remembered her eyes, the unyielding gaze of someone who had never known failure. Finally, the energy dimmed, and the sphere floated harmlessly beside me. Queen Vera's expression remained inscrutable, but there was a glint of something in her eyes that I couldn't name. "You survived," she said. "Few have done so, and none without skill. You intrigue me, human." The trial of words. Next, she brought me to the Hall of Echoes, a vast chamber where every sound, every word, carried weight beyond comprehension. "Here," she explained, "one could bend reality with words, convince minds to follow, sway the hearts of thousands, or cause irreversible damage. You will speak to me," she instructed, "not to command me, not to deceive, but to make me understand your truth. Convince me of your intent, your courage, your heart." I felt my throat tighten. Every word I had spoken in my life seemed trivial compared to this. The very air pressed against me, as if testing my resolve. "I do not seek power," I said. "I do not seek glory. I seek only truth. I seek to stand beside you, to share this path, to face what comes with honesty, courage, and trust. I am human, yes, small and fragile, but I offer what no power can create: sincerity." Her eyes bore into me, and for a moment, I thought she would dismiss me entirely. Then, slowly, she inclined her head. You speak well, but words alone do not reveal the soul. Show me human. The Labyrinth of Shadows. The Labyrinth of Shadows was the final test. It was a twisting maze of darkness and light, where every turn presented illusions drawn from your fears, your doubts, your deepest regrets. I stepped inside, my senses assaulted by phantoms of my past, my failures, my insecurities. I stumbled. I hesitated. Shadows whispered, claws of fear brushing against my mind. And then, in the midst of my panic, I remembered her gaze, the unyielding queen who had never once faltered. I took a deep breath. I smiled. It was a small, human thing, a grin born of defiance, of hope, of determination. And as I smiled, something strange happened. The shadows recoiled. The illusion shattered. The path ahead cleared. I realized then that the true trial was never about strength or skill. It was about heart, about showing that even in the presence of unimaginable power, one could remain unbroken, honest, and true. When I emerged, Queen Vera awaited me. She regarded me silently, her expression unreadable. Then, for the first time, she smiled. The moment of choice. You have faced what none have faced and lived, she said softly, stepping closer. Her presence, once overwhelming, now felt different. Less like a wall, more like a force you could reach, touch, understand. You smile, she continued, even when all the universe threatens to crush you. That is unusual, admirable, dangerous. I smile because it's the only thing I can control, I admitted. And because sometimes that is enough to change everything. Her violet eyes softened. She circled me, studying me as one might study a rare and unpredictable creature. Perhaps, she murmured, there is more to you than I thought. Perhaps even a human can teach a queen something about courage. I laughed softly, unsure if I was daring too much, but emboldened by the change in her. And perhaps even a queen can learn what it means to trust a human. The room fell silent. She reached out, her hand brushing mine, a fleeting contact, yet heavier than any sword or shield. You have survived my trials, she said. Not because you are stronger than others, but because you dared to be yourself. I cannot say what will come of this, but know this. Your presence has shifted something in me. The beginning of something new. The citadel seemed different that night. The corridors no longer threatened. The halls no longer whispered of power and judgment. We walked together, human and queen, two beings from worlds apart, yet somehow on the same path. I never thought I'd meet a human who could smile in the face of all I command, she admitted softly. You are unexpected, challenging, and yet compelling. And you are remarkable, I said. I didn't come here expecting to matter. Yet here I am. Her laugh was like a ripple of starlight, warm and strange. Perhaps that is why we are similar. Both willing to challenge expectation, both willing to risk everything for something intangible. Courage, sincerity, truth. We stood together at the balcony, looking over the alien city below. Red suns bathed the crystalline towers in light that seemed to belong to another world. She turned to me, her eyes softer than they had ever been. Human, she said, perhaps the galaxy is larger than I believed. Perhaps power alone does not define destiny. Perhaps the smile is stronger than the weight of a crown. I smiled back, and in that moment, I knew something profound had changed, not just her perception of me, but mine of her. We were no longer queen and subject, no longer master and visitor. We were partners in a world of infinite possibilities, bound not by power or fear, but by trust, courage, and a shared understanding that even the smallest gesture, a smile, could change everything. And so, under the twin red suns of Kythera, she held all the power, yet in that very moment, a human smile had shifted the balance forever. The end.